Burning Rubber is social. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Burning Rubber Radio. Now back to more Burning Rubber.
And it's that time once again, a little more BRR action for you, baby, on a Monday, no less. And this sorry sucker's finally back from his cruise.
Yeah, I enjoyed myself. I was out and sailing around in the water. A little bit rough, though, but I didn't puke, so...
Well, I mean, hey, choppy water, that's what happens when you get a fat man on a boat.
Yeah, that's right. The thing was riding real low in the water with me. They fed me well, so...
Well,
a lot of good NASCAR stuff, a lot of good
yeah.
action, and HRA, everything this week.
Yep, the only thing we didn't have was IndyCar this week, but that was last week with the St. Pete Grand Prix, which was... and I broached this topic to Zach too, Andy, and you weren't here for it. I kind of wished you were, because I would have loved to have gotten your input on it. Where who was it? Bob Tasca approached Joseph Newgarden. Now we know Newgarden to usually be the stoic guy who usually doesn't say a whole lot when it comes to interviews unless he's just ticked off. But Tasca asked him the by far the dumbest question ever when it comes to motorsports. After round one in IndyCar, he's like, how do you beat Palou for the championship?
After the first race? Oh
After the first race. And,
you know who...
and Newgarden looks at him dead in the eye, and he's like, it's round one, dude.
Yeah, it's round one, Bob. Come on, go back to your NASCAR booth.
Exactly.
Oh, my gosh. Haley Deegan was out walking around on the grid walk I saw at St. Pete.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep. So she was out there and didn't do really good, but hey, she's trying.
Yeah. Rumor has it she's going to try and get into IndyCar, I think, somewhere down the line in the next couple of years, but...
She's doing the Indy NXTs right now. So
yeah, the NXTs, yeah.
If she isn't, the viewers out there are going to let us know, buddy.
Yep, exactly. So, folks, right now it's just rumor mill. So, if you've heard differently, definitely feel free to let us know on all of our socials, whether it be X at BR Radio _, whether it be Facebook or Instagram at Burning Rubber Radio, or even just comment down below on the Rumble and the YouTube videos as well when they go live, and let us know. Speaking of Rumble and YouTube, rumble.com, search for Burning Rubber Radio, youtube.com/Burning Rubber Radio. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we would love to see at least I'm gonna aim small this week. We'll say 50 likes on the video. If we can get at least 50 likes on the video, then we're in a good starting spot. But back to news of the week here and other fun things to touch on real quick. And Andy, you brought it up talking about NASCAR here. We had everything this past weekend here. We had ARCA, we had Cup, we had Xfinity, and man, Brent Cruz, does yeoman's work when it comes to everything in the ARCA Menards series, and got himself a good win here.
Yeah, exactly. From what I saw out there at Phoenix, he beat Butterbean Queen back to the line, took the ARCA Series win. Good stuff.
And this was after qualifying got rained out, too.
That's correct. They started on points. So ARCA Menards actually putting on some decent shows this year, and car counts up a bit.
Yeah,
last year and the year before, they were suffering from car counts in the teens or
less.
They
were hurting pretty bad. And then of course, Denny Hamlin made that comment after Daytona. He's like, there needs to be no more ARCA at Daytona. It's not good. I'm like, dude, you need to go back and reevaluate your own racing, and a couple of people on your team before worrying about a whole series.
Yeah, he needs to go just sit and do his podcast, go back to the podcast world and live with us.
Yeah, exactly. Because we'll touch on him in just a minute for again as well here too. But another guy we got to talk about, Andy, up in the Xfinity Series this past weekend at Phoenix, and that being one Eric Almirola. And I'll tell you what, he has been, when it comes to the Xfinity Series, he has been out there kicking ass and taking names. He got himself a nice little overtime victory on the last lap this past weekend at Phoenix as well.
Talk a little victory, man. He barely. It was photo finish, when I was watching it. But yeah, he did get past him there at the end. It was by a bumper, if that much.
I was gonna say, let's see if we've got the official timing and scoring here. I'm looking to see here via the news article. No, so far I'm not seeing where they put any timing and scoring in here. I wish they would have. But the picture, with the news article that shows here is that Almirola's number 19 was actually more than half a car ahead of the Hendrick number 17.
Okay, so it was close. He had that 17 pinned up against the wall coming out of turn 4.
Yeah,
or
you
turn
can,
whatever the hell it is there.
Out of turn 4, yeah.
But my God, man, that was good stuff. Good show.
It was, yeah. The Xfinity was a good race, and the Cup Series race, that one also did not disappoint. This past weekend either. And I mean, we had Joey Logano getting black flagged at one point for a tire issue, and then he comes back to actually win a stage. Of course, Bubba Wallace hits the wall, which I'm not surprised about there. Okay. Yeah, folks, I'm sorry. Like I said, I know my hatred for Bubba Wallace shows through every single week as far as his performance on the track, but again, until he starts doing a little bit better again, my opinion's not going to change, just flat out. But as far as everything all in all goes here with Phoenix Raceway this past weekend, Christopher Bell gets the turkey, and now you're probably thinking, hey, he wasn't bowling, he didn't hit a third strike. Well, actually, he did hit a third strike. He got 3, count them, 3 back-to-back wins when it comes to races on the schedule so far in the NASCAR Cup Series. He has won on the Superspeedway of Atlanta. He has won at COTA, and he has also won on the the 1 mile almost short track Phoenix Raceway. So he's already topped 3 big tracks when it comes to the NASCAR Cup Series schedule.
He is on fire right now, as is all of Joe Gibbs racing cars. They were running really strong up there. I'm very impressed with Christopher Bell. It's early right now, but if they continue on, if they continue to build momentum, he's going to be unstoppable this year. But we saw that in the past with Kyle Larson. Yeah. And Kyle Larson comes out and wins every race there is, and then all of a sudden runs out of steam. So it's going to be fun to watch the number 20 team to see how things go. And so good start for them. That's all I can say for the 20 team. And Christopher Bell, man, good job. He's another one that got his media start right here on Burning Rubber Radio.
Yep, that he was back in his days, back way back when. So
back in his what? Dirt
days, yeah.
It sounded like you said something else, bro. Oh, but anyway,
I swear you need to clean your ears out, bud. Like, I don't know what it is about you, but you've got to clean them ears out, or adjust them hearing aids or something. I don't know what you got going on there.
Whatever.
But yeah, either which way here too. And but yeah, that's NASCAR for the weekend here, folks. Wrapping all that good stuff up. And
real quick, we didn't talk about the Craftsman Truck Series because they didn't run this week. However,
they'll be back at Vegas this weekend.
That's correct. They'll be back at Vegas. I want to remind everyone to make sure you go over and check out Seriously Fast Motorsports on all of their socials and everything. I will be putting out an article this week on Seriously Fast. Go over there and like them. They're a partner with us here at Burning Rubber Radio.
Yep.
And I want to thank Tom and all the folks out there for everything they're doing.
Yeah, some really good stuff over at SFM, Seriously Fast Motorsports. And then, of course, talk about one of our other partners here in Drive Refine. And make sure you go over to driverefine.com. Joey Coulter and the crew over there doing, again, yeoman's work. I mean, they were able to get Andy a 4th place finish in a sim race, and if that tells you how hard Joey had to work, folks, that should say a whole lot to his talent and his craft.
Yeah, he's a great coach, let me tell you.
And the best part is, folks, Joey doesn't even look at it as being a coach. He looks at it as an ability to help you communicate better with not only your crew chief, your crew, your teammates, just everybody all around when you're at the racetrack. So again, it is not just driver coaching, it's drive refine.
Drive refine.
That echo is still off.
Yeah, trying.
Yeah, he's trying, folks. I got to give him a little bit of credit. But again, folks, driverefine.com. Make sure you go say hi to Joey and the crew over there. And then last sponsor of the show this week, MyPillow. Make sure you go over to mypillow.com/BRR and use the promo code BRR at checkout to get your order delivered for free.
Delivered?
Yeah, you got to get it. You got to get it. You're trying to con me into using. Yeah, exactly. See, folks, I know this guy a lot better than people think I do. We've only been hanging around each other for what, 17 years now.
Yeah, something like that.
So, but either way, yeah, mypillow.com/BRR, and you can get your order delivered for free, shipped for free. There you go.
There you go.
And but now we've got to move on over here. One last thing, or one last set of topics to talk about here this week, Andy. And we got to talk about the Gator Nationals down in good old Florida, and the kickoff to the NHRA season here. Antron Brown and Top Fuel getting another Wally this week, baby. I gotta give him his flowers because that shout has done it again.
Oh my gosh, that burning rubber baby shout. We got to bring Antron back on here and say, see, he was happy to do it. Heck, it was great stuff. But...
Right. And now that he's had multiple wins extra, actually more wins now in the last half season than before giving the shout, we're going to have to be like, look, Antron, that shout has won you some flowers, brother. We gotta talk.
Oh my gosh, yeah, man. So that was good stuff down there. Brittany Force goes down there and practice and just rips a 8th mile time. That's the fastest in the history of drag racing.
Yep.
Period.
And you know what's
faster
even
than anyone's ever gone.
And you know what's even more interesting about that fact, Andy, is that they had so much rain down there in Gainesville that there was no rubber on the track whatsoever. And you've still got Antron doing his thing. You got Brittany setting a super fast ET in practice. You've got, I think there was actually talk in this article too, I'm going to double check it here, that Tony Stewart even did something in his car.
Oh, okay.
And
I've been seeing a ton of pictures of Tony and his little baby sleeping on the internet. I guess that's something that his wife loves to take pictures of. That's kind of cool. Tony, big old bad Tony Stewart sitting there sleeping with the little guy.
I'm sitting there looking at that, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this is great. So yeah, here we go. Last year's Rookie of the Year, Tony Stewart was the only driver in the first round to reach the top end of the racetrack under full power, as he knocked out Brittany Force in the elimination rounds. But the fact that Brittany still set that super fast ET in practice, though, fantastic stuff.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And also saw pictures of John Force walking around. That was good. He looks like this good old same John Force. Hopefully everything is going well with his recovery because, John, we love you, buddy.
Yep, we really do. John, we'd love to have you back on the show too, brother, to check in on you and see how you're doing. If you're out there listening to the show, which last I heard at one point, Andy, I think he does still listen to the show every now and again too. So that'd
really be nice.
Stuff.
Yeah, it's good. John's been on 1,000 times. One of the folks out there, if you've never seen or heard an interview with John Force, let me tell you, it's one of this. I'm going to do it. You ready, Wayne? Here it is. Everybody, here's John Force. You just sit back and John goes.
And I mean, it was the same way when, it was the same way when I was down there at the four wides. Like, I literally asked one question and he just went on the normal John Force, abilities of conducting an interview. Like I think he already knew the other questions I was going to ask him. Was he just went jump.
That's great stuff.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just so glad he's recovering well, or has recovered well. So our prayers have been answered for John.
Yep, exactly. And but now here's the topic that we can touch on, that we can take a few minutes and kind of sit and ponder back and forth on this one here, because Fox Sports, Andy, as we know, I love, and I love guys like Larry Mack and Kevin Harvick and Mike Joy and all the guys that do what they do as far as the broadcast side of Fox Sports. However, this past weekend, when it comes to everything at the Gator Nationals, Bob Tasca III, and Bob Tasca, folks, if you don't follow NHRA all that much, I can tell you that Bob Tasca is one guy that when he gets mad, he gets mad.
Yeah, he does.
And he's not a redhead by any stretch, but I guarantee you that head catches on fire like Hades when he is pissed off at somebody.
I would not want to be at the end of that pissed offness.
No. And so now you're probably curious why I'm bringing that up. Tasca called out Fox Sports this past weekend down in Gainesville here. Now, the way the article is written here, it's racing's most unexpected rivalry reached a new level this past Sunday afternoon during the 56th annual Amalie Motor Oil NHRA Gator Nationals. With the addition of the NTT IndyCar Series to Fox Sports' TV coverage for the 2025 season, the company has pushed ads with the slogan, "Fastest Racing on Earth," in quotes. And, once drivers and teams within the NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing Series caught wind of the marketing campaign, it became personal, as it should.
Right.
Because after all, two drivers eclipsed 341 miles per hour last season alone in funny cars, whereas your top fuels are pushing almost 375 in most cases.
Unbelievable.
And Bob Tasca III, who is one of those funny car drivers, was the first to do so at the Pro Superstar Shootout, while Austin Prock from John Force Racing also hit that same mark during the NHRA Finals in Pomona last season. And the fastest an IndyCar can reach it at top speed is 235 miles an hour entering Turn 3 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So at that point, Bob Tasca has a very valid point when it comes to the fact that, hey, they are not the fastest cars on the track. The NHRA has them beat by, in most cases, almost 106 miles per hour.
He's got a point. You can't argue with him.
And and like I said, I love the folks that are in the broadcast booth doing yeoman's work, whether it be Larry Mack, who I've actually seen at the track more often this season too, which has been fantastic. He was at Daytona. He was at Atlanta. I think I even saw him at Phoenix for a little bit too. I can't remember if he was there at the studio down in Charlotte. But either which way, the fact that we've seen Larry Mack at the track a little more often this season has been really cool. But again, I respect what the broadcasters do because, that's our line of work. That's us, where we come into play. But these folks that are in marketing for Fox or NBC or USA or anybody, hell, even Prime Video, since NASCAR is now on Prime Video for part of the season, as well as on HBO Max and other stuff like that. These folks that are in these marketing departments that are sitting there putting these slogans together, fastest racing on earth, when it comes to, the comparison of IndyCar versus NHRA, and airing that marketing campaign during an NHRA broadcast. If I were an NHRA driver, not just Bob Tasca III, if I were Antron Brown, if I were John Force, if I were Brittany Force, I would seriously take that very personally.
Yeah, you're definitely not Brittany Force.
she's a lot cuter than I am, folks. We'll just put it that way.
Man.
I'm about as ugly as Tony Stewart. We'll just put it that way.
Almost as ugly as I am, so that's all right.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean that opens up the floor for discussion here. So, that's going to be the topic that we'll make the opinion topic for the week here, folks. I'm sure Andy or Zach will put it up on our Facebook page here to get the opinions rolling after our video post this week for the show here, and we want your feedback here. The slogan "fastest racing on earth," quote unquote, in reference to the NTT IndyCar Series versus what the NHRA does, topping 340 miles per hour in most situations. Where do you stand on it? Do you really feel like NTT is that fast where they can earn that moniker? Or do you stand with somebody like myself and Andy where we clearly see that the NHRA has them beat?
They do.
But either way, with that being said, folks, Andy, you know what? We've already covered all. Again, this is why we are the fastest podcast on the internet when it comes to talking about news and other things like that, motorsports related. We're going to wrap it up here for another week and get ready to get out of here. But, Andy, you got Seriously Fast. When do you think that article is going to be up for Seriously Fast Motorsports?
I should have it out by Wednesday, latest Thursday this week, and it'll post up on SFM, but you can read it right here on Burning Rubber Radio's Facebook, and our social medias will have it posted up there too. So make sure everyone, please, I'm gonna say please go over and follow us on Facebook and like us and follow us on YouTube, and trying to grow these social medias up. We're almost at 7,000 followers on Facebook, and we're just, your follow doesn't cost anything, but it sure does help us.
And the funny thing, folks, is I don't see him beg very often, so this is actually funny to see. Well, that is unless he's begging for another plate of food.
True. Yeah. What's I leave for vacation, get on the ship, and raid the buffets and enjoy myself, and come back home. And folks out there, I'm sure if you don't know already, my real job, full-time job, is a law enforcement officer. I get back home and go to put my gun belt on, and it says no.
Oh man, that's great.
That's funny.
Muttley said hi too, but his button didn't work today. So
good.
I don't. Oh wait a minute, hold on. Let me see if I can get that button to work. Can I get it? I got it.
There it is.
It wouldn't be the same if Muttley didn't laugh at Andy at least once.
Yeah, that's all right.
But with that said, folks, here we're going to get out of here for the week. It is
not for the week. We're going to be back on maybe Wednesday if there's a burnout, and then of course we're going to have Fast Lap on Friday.
Yeah, we're going to be able to follow up with you guys on Friday, getting you ready for the weekend coming up here. But it's going to feel like a week because it's going to be 5 days. So either way, though, I am producer Wayne. That is Andy DeLay, and Burning Rubber, baby. We're out of here until next week. Baby.